Airports are magical places where people completely forget how to act like functioning adults. From the moment they step through those automatic doors, common sense seems to evaporate faster than their patience at the security line. Today, we are counting down 50 of the most ridiculous, painfully entitled, and absolutely brainless complaints ever made by travelers who somehow managed to book a flight but could not book a clue. From demanding first-class treatment with economy expectations to blaming airline staff for the existence of weather, these stories will have you questioning the future of humanity. Fasten your seatbelts because this terminal is about to get turbulent. Rule number 1: never expect airport security to apologize for doing their job. One traveler filed a formal complaint because the TSA agent did not smile while checking his ID. He claimed the lack of enthusiasm made him feel like a criminal and ruined the start of his vacation. Sir, their job is to keep planes from exploding, not to host a welcome party for your trip to Cancun. Security lines are not meant to be a warm and fuzzy experience. If you want smiles and compliments, hire a personal cheerleader and leave the agents alone. Rule number 2: never assume your snow globe collection is TSA approved. A woman threw a full tantrum at airport security because they confiscated her 12 souvenir snow globes. She screamed that they were destroying her memories and demanded to speak to the head of Homeland Security. The liquid rules have existed for nearly 2 decades. If you packed a carry-on full of water-filled glass balls and expected them to sail through the X-ray machine, the only person destroying your memories is yourself. Google the rules before you pack next time. Rule number 3: never blame the airline for the existence of weather. A man in Chicago demanded a full refund and a personal apology from the CEO because his flight was delayed due to a massive snowstorm. He argued that a professional airline should have the technology to fly through any weather condition. Buddy, planes are incredible machines, but they are not magical. If there is a blizzard dropping 3 feet of snow per hour, no amount of technology will make that runway safe. Take it up with Mother Nature, not the gate agent making minimum wage. Rule number 4: never expect a middle seat to feel like a throne. One passenger left a scathing review because her middle seat felt cramped and uncomfortable. She complained that her shoulders kept touching the people next to her and she had no window view or aisle access. That is literally what a middle seat is. You booked the worst seat on the plane and then got upset that it was the worst seat on the plane. If you wanted space and views, maybe pay for them instead of acting surprised by basic airplane geometry. Rule number 5: never expect gourmet dining at an airport Burger King. A traveler complained that his airport fast food burger did not taste as fresh as the one from his local restaurant back home. He was offended that the lettuce was slightly wilted and the fries were not piping hot. You are eating at a franchise inside a building where thousands of stressed humans pass through every hour. The kitchen is not a 5-star restaurant. It is a miracle the food exists at all. Lower your expectations and eat your slightly sad burger in peace. Rule number 6: never show up 2 hours late and blame everyone else. A woman missed her flight because she arrived at the airport 45 minutes after departure and then screamed at the gate agent for not holding the plane. She claimed she was a loyal customer and deserved special treatment. An entire aircraft full of people who showed up on time is not going to wait for you because you could not read a clock. The world does not revolve around your schedule. Set an alarm like a responsible adult. Rule number 7: never expect free first-class upgrades because you asked nicely. A man demanded an upgrade at the check-in counter because he was tired and the economy cabin felt beneath him. When denied, he threatened to never fly the airline again and leave devastating reviews everywhere. The audacity of expecting a $1,000 upgrade for free because you made eye contact with the staff is genuinely impressive. First class costs money because it offers more. You paid for less, so you get less. That is how commerce works. Rule number 8: never complain that airports are too crowded with other travelers. One passenger filed a noise complaint because the terminal was full of people and it was too loud to read his book in peace. He suggested airports should have reservation systems so only a limited number of people could be present at any time. You are in a transportation hub designed to move millions of humans. Of course it is crowded. If you wanted silence and solitude, try a library instead of a building specifically designed for mass movement. Rule number 9: never expect Wi-Fi in an airport to stream your favorite show in 4K. A traveler left a 1-star review because the free airport Wi-Fi was too slow to watch Netflix without buffering. He claimed the airport was stuck in the Stone Age and should invest in better infrastructure for his entertainment needs. It is free internet shared by thousands of people simultaneously. You are lucky it works at all. Maybe use the time to stare at a wall like travelers did for centuries before you. Or pay for premium access instead of complaining about gifts. Rule number 10. Never forget that babies are allowed to exist on airplanes. A passenger complained that a baby cried during a 3-hour flight and demanded a partial refund. For his emotional suffering, he suggested airlines should ban children under 5 from all flights or create separate child-only planes. Babies cry. That is what they do. They do not have a mute button or an understanding of social etiquette. You were once a screaming infant on a plane too. Buy noise-canceling headphones and find some empathy somewhere in your cold heart. Rule number 11. Never assume the pilot will wait for your connecting coffee. A woman missed her connecting flight because she stopped for a 20-minute Starbucks break between gates. She then blamed the airline for not announcing her name over the intercom to warn her that boarding was ending. The departure time is printed on your ticket. It is also displayed on every screen in the terminal. Your caffeine addiction is not the airline's responsibility. If you chose a latte over your flight, that is a personal decision with personal consequences. Rule number 12. Never expect the overhead bin to hold your entire life. A traveler was furious because there was no space for his oversized carry-on. That was clearly too big for the bin. He complained that other passengers were selfish for using the space first and demanded the airline buy bigger planes. The bins have size limits for a reason. If your bag looks like you packed for a year abroad, check it like a normal person. The overhead compartment is not your personal storage unit, and the laws of physics still apply at 30,000 feet. Rule number 13. Never blame the gate agent for your expired passport. A couple showed up for an international flight with passports that had expired 3 months earlier, and then screamed at the staff for not letting them board. They claimed nobody warned them to check their documents before traveling. You are adults with functioning brains. Checking if your passport is valid before an international trip is your responsibility, not the airlines. The gate agent did not expire your passport. You did by ignoring it for years. Rule number 14. Never expect priority boarding because you feel important. A man demanded to board first because he was a business professional with an important meeting. When told he was in boarding group 5, he argued that his time was more valuable than other passengers and he should not have to wait. Everyone on that plane has somewhere to be. Your spreadsheet deadline does not make you royalty. Stand in line with the rest of humanity and practice the ancient art of patience. It might change your life. Rule number 15. Never complain that airport prices are higher than grocery store prices. A traveler was shocked that a bottle of water cost $6 and filed a complaint with the airport authority. He claimed it was highway robbery and demanded price regulations for all terminal vendors. You are in a captive market inside a secured building. Prices are higher because real estate is expensive and you literally cannot leave. Either bring an empty bottle to fill at a fountain or accept the reality of airport economics. This is not a conspiracy against your wallet. Rule number 16. Never expect the flight attendant to be your personal servant. A passenger pressed the call button 17 times during a 2-hour flight to ask for extra napkins, more ice, a different magazine, and constant temperature updates. She then complained that the service was slow and the crew seemed annoyed. Flight attendants are responsible for the safety of 200 people, not just your endless needs. They are not your butler. Press the button for emergencies, not because you want someone to fluff your pillow every 10 minutes. Rule number 17. Never assume your emotional support peacock is welcome aboard. A woman tried to bring an actual peacock on a plane, claiming it was her emotional support animal, and was shocked when the airline refused. She argued that her bird had every right to fly and the policy was discriminatory against exotic pet owners. There are rules about what animals can board a commercial flight. A massive bird with a 5-foot tail span wandering down the aisle is not reasonable. Get a therapist or a more practical pet like everyone else. Rule number 18. Never complain that the runway is too far from the gate. A passenger was furious that the plane had to taxi for 15 minutes before takeoff. He complained that the airport was poorly designed and his time was being wasted, just sitting on the ground. Airports are massive facilities with dozens of runways and hundreds of gates. The plane cannot teleport to the takeoff point. Taxiing is part of flying. Use the time to mentally prepare for the miracle of human flight, instead of whining about basic logistics. Rule number 19: never demand a refund because turbulence scared you. A nervous flyer complained that the pilot flew through bumpy air on purpose and demanded compensation for her emotional distress. She claimed a professional airline should be able to avoid all turbulence entirely. Turbulence is caused by atmospheric conditions that are often invisible and unavoidable. Pilots do their best to find smooth air, but they cannot control the sky. Airplanes are built to handle it. Your anxiety is valid, but it is not the airline's financial responsibility. Rule number 20: never expect the entire plane to accommodate your perfume allergy. Discovered mid-flight, a woman demanded that all passengers remove any scented products immediately because she suddenly felt sensitive to smells. She wanted the flight attendants to walk down the aisle confiscating perfume and lotion from everyone. You are in a sealed metal tube with 200 strangers. If you have severe allergies, notify the airline before boarding. You cannot demand an entire aircraft change their personal products because you forgot to plan ahead. Rule number 21: never be shocked that airport food courts close at night. A red-eye traveler complained that every restaurant in the terminal was closed at 2 in the morning. He filed a complaint demanding 24-hour dining options because his flight was delayed, and he was hungry. Airports operate based on flight schedules. If there are no flights, there are no customers, so businesses close. Pack a granola bar like a prepared adult instead of expecting a full buffet at midnight in an empty terminal. Rule number 22: never expect your seat to fully recline into the lap of the person behind you. A passenger complained that she could not recline her seat all the way because the person behind her kept kneeing the back. She felt it was her right to recline fully, and the other passenger should just deal with it. Airplane seats recline maybe 3 inches for a reason. The person behind you also paid for their space. If you want to lie flat, buy a business class ticket or wait until you get to your hotel bed. Rule number 23: never blame the airline for your fear of flying. A man complained that the pilot made the flight too scary by announcing they would be flying at 35,000 feet. He argued that passengers should not be told the altitude because it induces anxiety. The pilot is legally required to make announcements. If hearing basic flight information terrifies you, maybe driving is a better option. The airline cannot hide the reality of aviation just because you would prefer to pretend. You are on a bus. Rule number 24: never assume your boarding pass is optional. A traveler showed up at the gate without his boarding pass and blamed the airline when he was not allowed to board immediately. He argued that his face should be enough identification, and the staff were being unnecessarily difficult. A boarding pass exists for security and organization. Thousands of people fly every day, and nobody has time to verify your identity through vibes alone. Keep track of your documents like everyone else or accept the chaos you create for yourself. Rule number 5: never complain that the airport does not have your specific phone charger. A passenger was furious that the terminal only had USB ports and not the exact proprietary charger for his obscure phone model. He claimed the airport was discriminating against his brand choice and should stock every possible charger type. Airports provide universal charging options. If you bought a phone with a weird charging system, bring your own cable. The terminal is not an electronics store tailored to your specific purchase decisions. Rule number 6: never expect legroom in economy when you are 6'5". A very tall passenger complained that his knees touched the seat in front of him and demanded a free upgrade to extra legroom. When denied, he threatened legal action for discrimination against tall people. Airlines sell extra legroom seats for exactly this reason. Your height is not the airline's fault or responsibility. Either pay for the space you need or accept that economy class is designed for average-sized humans. Those are your options. Rule number 27: never assume your allergies override everyone else's meal choices. A passenger demanded that the entire plane be peanut-free because she had a severe allergy. She wanted announcements made and all peanut products confiscated from other passengers. While severe allergies are serious, you cannot control what 200 strangers eat. Airlines do offer accommodations if you notify them in advance. Showing up and demanding the entire flight change their snacks on the spot is not a reasonable expectation. Rule number 28: never complain that immigration officers ask you questions about your trip. A traveler was offended that a customs agent asked where he was staying and the purpose of his visit. He claimed it was an invasion of privacy and he should not have to explain himself to anyone. That is literally their job. Immigration exists to verify who enters a country and why. If you think basic entry questions are oppressive, international travel might not be for you. Answer the questions and move along like millions of other people do every day. Rule number 9: never expect the bathroom line to move faster because you have an emergency. A woman cut the entire bathroom line, claiming she had a desperate situation, and then complained. When other passengers called her out, she argued that her needs were more urgent than everyone else's and demanded an apology. Everyone in that line is in the same situation. Your bladder is not special. Wait your turn like a civilized human or use the bathroom before you leave the gate area. Basic planning prevents most emergencies. Rule number 30: never assume your seat assignment is a suggestion. A man boarded a plane and sat in a window seat that was not his because he preferred it. When the rightful passenger arrived, he refused to move and called a flight attendant to resolve the dispute in his favor. Seat assignments exist for a reason. You paid for a specific seat, and so did everyone else. If you wanted the window, you should have booked it. Stealing someone's assigned seat and then acting confused is a special kind of entitled. Rule number 31: never expect the pilot to fly faster because you have a meeting. A businessman complained that the flight took 30 minutes longer than scheduled and demanded the airline pay for his missed appointment. He suggested pilots should push the engines harder to make up time. Aircraft have speed limits based on safety, fuel efficiency, and air traffic control. The pilot cannot floor it like a sports car because you overbooked your calendar. Leave more time between your flight and your meeting like a functioning professional. Rule number 30: to never blame the airline for jet lag. A traveler flew from Los Angeles to Tokyo and complained that she felt exhausted and disoriented upon arrival. She demanded compensation for her sleep disruption and claimed the airline should provide free sleeping pills to all passengers. Jet lag is caused by crossing time zones, not by anything the airline did wrong. Your body clock needs time to adjust. That is biology, not a corporate failure. Take a nap and stop looking for someone to sue. Rule number 33: never expect the airport to smell like a luxury spa. A passenger complained that the terminal smelled like a mix of fast food, cleaning products, and stressed travelers. She suggested airports should install aroma diffusers with calming lavender scents throughout the building. Thousands of humans eating, sweating, and rushing through a building will create smells. It is a transportation hub, not a wellness retreat. If airport air offends your delicate nostrils, maybe carry a scented handkerchief like a Victorian aristocrat. Rule number 30: for never complain that airport announcements are too loud. A traveler filed a noise complaint because the gate announcements interrupted his nap. He argued that airports should use silent text notifications instead of public speakers. Announcements exist to communicate important information to everyone, including people not glued to their phones. If the sound of your flight being called wakes you up, that is the system working exactly as intended. Bring earplugs if you need silence. Rule number 35: never expect a direct flight from a tiny regional airport to an international destination. A woman was furious that her local airport in rural Nebraska did not offer non-stop service to Paris. She complained that it was unfair she had to connect through Chicago. Small airports do not have the traffic to support intercontinental routes. If you live in the middle of nowhere, connections are part of life. Move to a major hub city or accept the layover. Geography is not a personal attack against you. Rule number 36: never assume your luggage will arrive if you checked it 5 minutes before departure. A man checked his bag at the counter moments before the cutoff and was shocked when it did not make it onto the plane. He blamed the airline for slow baggage handling. There's a reason check-in closes an hour before departure. Your bag needs time to be scanned, sorted, and loaded. If you arrive at the last second, your luggage luggage will take the next flight. This is not a mystery, it is logistics. Rule number 37, never expect the airline to control other passengers. A woman complained that the person next to her talked too much during the flight. She wanted the flight attendants to tell the chatty passenger to be quiet so she could enjoy silence. Airlines are not responsible for the personalities of their passengers. If someone wants to talk, politely say you prefer quiet or put on headphones. The crew is not going to mediate every social interaction between strangers at 30,000 feet. Rule number 38, never be shocked that international flights are long. A first-time traveler complained that his 14-hour flight to Australia felt endless and boring. He suggested airlines should find faster routes or break up long flights into shorter segments. With ground breaks, the Earth is a big planet. Flying to the other side of it takes time. Physics and geography determine flight duration, not airline preference. Bring entertainment, sleep, and accept that crossing oceans is not a quick trip. Rule number 39, never expect the pilot to narrate every landmark below. A tourist complained that the pilot did not point out the Grand Canyon when they flew over it. She felt robbed of a sightseeing opportunity and demanded a partial refund for the missed view. Pilots are focused on flying the plane safely, not providing tour guide commentary. If you wanted a scenic narration, book a helicopter tour. Commercial flights are transportation, not a National Geographic experience with live hosting. Rule number 40, never assume airport security should recognize your importance. A self-proclaimed celebrity was offended that TSA treated him like every other passenger. He demanded a private screening area and was furious when told to remove his shoes. Like everyone else, security rules apply to all humans equally regardless of your Instagram follower count. If you want VIP treatment, fly private. Commercial airports treat everyone the same because threats do not care about your fame. Rule number 41, never complain that the window shade must be open during takeoff and landing. A passenger was irritated that the flight attendant asked him to raise his window shade. He claimed the light hurt his eyes and he should have the right to keep it closed. Window shades are open for safety so crew can assess outside conditions. During critical flight phases, your mild eye discomfort is less important than emergency preparedness. Follow the rules and buy sunglasses. Rule number 42, never expect the airline to reunite you with your travel companion for free. A couple booked separately and ended up in different rows. They demanded the airline move other passengers so they could sit together. When refused, they caused a scene about romance being destroyed. If sitting together matters, book together or pay for seat selection. Other passengers are not required to relocate because you failed to plan your seating in advance. Rule number 43, never blame the airport for confusing gate numbers. A traveler missed his flight because he went to gate A12 instead of gate B12. He claimed the numbering system was designed to confuse people and demanded signage be simplified. Airport gates are labeled clearly with letters and numbers. If you cannot tell the difference between A and B, the problem is not the airport. Pay attention, double-check your boarding pass, and maybe put down your phone while navigating. Rule number 44, never expect complimentary meals on a 2-hour domestic flight. A passenger was outraged that she only received a small bag of pretzels on her short flight. She complained that she expected a full meal and beverages included in her $60 ticket. Airlines cut meal service on short flights decades ago. If you are hungry for a 90-minute journey, eat before you board. A bag of pretzels is a courtesy, not an insult to your culinary expectations. Rule number 45, never assume your connection time is the airline's problem. A traveler booked a 45-minute connection in a massive international airport and missed his second flight. He blamed the airline for selling tickets with such a tight window. You chose that connection when you booked. Airlines show connection times and you clicked accept. If you picked an impossibly tight transfer, that was your decision. Book longer layovers or accept the risk of running through terminals. Rule number 46, never complain that you cannot bring your full-size shampoo bottle. A woman was furious when security confiscated her large bottle of expensive shampoo. She claimed the liquid rules were outdated and her products were clearly not dangerous. The 3.4-ounce liquid rule has existed since 2006. Every traveler has had nearly 20 years to learn it. Transfer your precious shampoo into smaller containers or check it. Ignorance of long-standing rules is not a valid excuse for outrage. Rule number 47, never expect the plane to wait because you are in the bathroom during boarding. A passenger used the terminal restroom after boarding began and then complained that the gate closed. Before he finished, he argued the airline should have sent someone to check on him. Boarding times are announced repeatedly. If you disappear during the final call, the plane will leave without you. Your bathroom break is not the airline's responsibility to monitor. Time management is a basic life skill. Rule number 48, never assume your connecting airport will have the same time zone. A traveler missed her connection because she forgot the layover city was in a different time zone. She blamed the airline for not warning her about the time change. Time zones exist and are well documented. When you cross state or country lines, time may shift. Check the local time of your layover destination instead of expecting the airline to teach you basic geography. Rule number 49, never expect first-class treatment when you paid for basic economy. A man was upset that his basic economy ticket did not include seat selection, free checked bags, or priority boarding. He claimed the airline tricked him with hidden restrictions. Basic economy is the cheapest ticket for a reason. All restrictions are listed during booking. If you did not read what you were purchasing, that is your failure as a consumer. You get what you pay for, and you paid for less. Rule number 50, never miss your flight and blame the time on your phone. Our final legend arrived at the airport and are late because his phone automatically switched to the wrong time zone. He demanded the airline compensate him because technology failed him. Your phone is a tool, not a babysitter. If you are catching a flight, verify the time using multiple sources. Clocks exist everywhere. Watches exist. Asking another human exists. Blaming a smartphone glitch for missing your flight is the ultimate surrender of personal responsibility to the digital age. And with that, we have landed at the end of this journey through the most entitled, clueless, and utterly baffling airport complaints ever recorded. Airports bring out something special in people, and apparently that something is the complete abandonment of logic. What is the dumbest airport complaint you have ever witnessed or heard? Drop your stories in the comments and let the chaos unfold. Smash that like button if you survived all 50 rules, and subscribe so you never miss another dose of human absurdity. See you in the next one.